5 fucking minutes out of you.
Yes, sir.
5 fucking minutes out of you, Dan. He does not want it more than you. He does not want that shit more than you. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
What do you do round 3?
Fuck them up.
Let's go.
Great start for Ige tonight.
Ige looking very confident here and very strong. Just
Dynamite Dan Ige!
fantastic.
How's that for your first UFC win? He came in a man on a mission. The finish comes very early. How do
This guy works as an MMA manager. He works with Dominance MMA. He works and represents Cody Garbrandt, Frankie Edgar, Habib Nurmagomedov. He's actually trained with all of them. He's a married guy doing his thing.
Dan, Ige, I want to ask you, I mean, obviously a fighter and a manager, so you get both sides of the game. What's coming up next for you? What's the plan? You got this nice run together. I know you want to break into these rankings, so what's the right next move for you, and where do you see the path?
Yeah, this is just kind of the lifestyle I live. Fighter, manager, it doesn't matter. It's just my everyday life. I live, breathe, eat, sleep martial arts. But I would like to get back in there soon. Originally I was thinking July, but I'm healthy, I'm young, and I want to be the best in the world. I am the best in the world. Obviously I want a top-ranked guy, someone like Shane Burgo, someone like Korean Zombie, someone like Yair. Any of those guys would be awesome, but I'm just here to win, fight, win, get paid, work my way to the top.
Here we are, we're sitting about 12 days out from the fight, fighting Edson Barboza May 16th. in Jacksonville, Florida. Pretty pumped up, man. This is a big fight, big opportunity. Edson's coming down to 145 for the first time. It's my division, my home. This will be his 145 debut, and it'll be interesting, you know. I'm not too focused on how he's gonna do and how he's gonna feel, because I'm expecting the best Edson Barboza there is. You know, that being said, even on 155, the guy is shredded as can be. I don't know where he's gonna pull that excess 10 pounds, but I think it'll play into my advantage. You know, I'm comfortable at the weight. I feel like I'm strong for the weight. I don't think he's gonna come down from another weight class and outpower me. I'm on a 5-5 winning streak, so you know, I'm looking to make it 6. I feel I have the edge everywhere. He's definitely skilled. I can't give him his range. As long as I do that, it'll be a long night for Edson and a great night for me.
So, Dan Ige came out here 2016. Good friends with Brad Tavares. So Dan came in and out at times just to come train with us and see if you like the gym, see if you like the team. And I think that's very important because you know, you don't want to pick up and move when it's not a two-way street, right? Like, you want to make sure that the team fits your style and then you fit the team style. But right away when we started to get to know Dan, I knew this is a kid that I wanted to have in the gym. Not only did I thought we could make him better, but he made us better too.
When I came here, it was just, I felt at home right away. You know, a lot of Hawaiian guys here, but it's just a family atmosphere here at Extreme. And eventually, you know, I met Eric Nixick, my head coach, and we have an unbelievable bond. We're getting better every single day. It's for 4 years now, working together every single day. We're literally just growing and exceeding expectations. So, you know, the bond between Eric and I is phenomenal. And I think it's so important as a coach and an athlete that you guys have a mutual respect to continue to grow.
Nick sick. No, I'm not scared. If I die, I die. Like, I'm not worried about it. Kick rocks.
The first fight I cornered Dan was in San Diego, CFFC, and Dan pretty much 1080'd this guy for 3 rounds. I mean, literally beat the brakes off this guy up and down the mat. One of the most dominant performances I've ever seen out of anybody, and he was pissed off because he didn't get the finish. You know, and right then and there I was like, man, this is a guy that I want to continue to work with.
I can't remember when exactly Dan and I met. It had to be maybe 9th or 8th grade. this new kid's just at the bus stop, just, you know, scruffy hair, goofy looking, baggy clothes, and I'm just eating these gummy worms, and this kid's just staring at me while I eat these gummy worms. And I look at him and I see this drool just like dripping out of his mouth. So I offered him some gummy worms or gummy bears, whatever. I'm like, you want some? And kind of from there, we just became best friends over some gummy bears or gummy worms, I don't remember. If you knew us in high school, you'd know we were the last 2 kids to ever be competing in MMA, and let alone at this high of a level. It's crazy. Pretty sure I was wrestling at the time, so I would always like tell Dan, you gotta join, you gotta jump in wrestling. And turns out his first year, he's a beast. He's, you know, super explosive, kind of got that freak work ethic. It's funny because that's kind of the only thing I led Dan to doing. After that, Dan kind of paved the way for me there on. He went on to college at Wartburg College, and then I followed him the next year. He went on to fighting. I followed along shortly after. He moved to Vegas. I followed right after. You know, I'm really grateful for him. He really made something of himself, and he made me honestly. Like, if Dan didn't take those steps to becoming a fighter, I probably wouldn't be here. It's just crazy to see where we're at right now.
Second fight, we flew out to Florida. He fought a guy out for Titan FC, and that propelled him into the Contender Series. So we didn't have a lot of time between those 2 fights going into the Contender Series, but there was a lot riding on the line. You know, it was his opportunity to get the UFC contract, and we were the first fight of the night. I remember it being like a home game. You know, it was a lot of our team. There was a lot of people that were there, a lot of family members. So as much as you love fighting in a big arena, I felt like that arena itself, or that time of that fight, was very heavy. You know, I felt there was a lot going on there.
Allow him to get up, man. That's why you got Rock, because you allowed him to get up. Rock his ass to bed. Rock made his night. Freddie Jackson.
Where's he going?
He finna
still fighting.
What bedtime story would he like for me to read him, though?
That's a good question.
Maybe the 3 Little Pigs.
What's one? Yeah, Little Red Riding Hood. Who's the big bad wolf? Ige's the big bad wolf.
Yeah, he can choke him on now. 3 Little Pigs now. Let's go hit him with the 3 Little Pigs.
Okay.
See, he's about to get choked. To choke him. You see that?
Now he's got the choke in. He's got too much time. This is over. Good night.
Yeah. Night, Irene. I like the strategy of socking.
And Dan just literally just outperformed this guy. He showed every little thing you could possibly imagine in a fight. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking, grittiness, and did everything he was supposed to do and went and put this guy away in the 3rd round. And I thought we were going to get that contract that night, you know. And at the end of the day, man, I think it was the best thing for us not to get that contract, because it made us want to work even harder. And that's exactly what happened. So what we did was, I remember I kept writing UFC Dan next to his name and just telling him that, hey, just because we didn't get that contract doesn't mean that this isn't our path. It doesn't mean that this is not where we belong. It's just not right now. And everything that we did or said, I always said UFC Dan, or I put it in his name, just to make him visualize seeing his name and UFC as being synonymous. And he did. He got the contract. I remember getting a call from him. He was in New York for a fight, and he calls me just elated, but tears and screaming. He's probably had a few drinks in him, but I just remember probably one of the, you know, I'm gonna tear up. One of my proudest moments, man, was just seeing that kid make it, because I just knew he just had to get his foot in the door, you know. And sometimes I think when you have enough people around you that believe in where you're supposed to be, that good things are gonna happen. And he got there, man.
I remember him telling me about how, like, the story about how I got the contract and how I cried, and it was crazy. It kind of made me a little watery too. Just, we kind of joked about being UFC fighters for years. Like, I don't know if Dan was serious. I don't know if I was ever serious about it, and it kind of like lit a fire under my butt. So I'm like, okay, like, if one of us can do it, we all can do it. So why not?
Ige, a friend from back in Hawaii, now a training combatant at Extreme Couture in Las Vegas with Punahele Soriano, who we saw on the Contender Series earn himself a contract the other night. Ige actually got Punahele Soriano into mixed martial arts.
December 14th, T-Mobile Arena, I made my UFC debut. Oscar Pichota is his name, big Polish dude. Leading up to it, fight week, I was working out here. Dan just casually strolled by, kind of gave me some advice, some tips, just, you know, it's just another fight. Told me to be me, keep doing what I'm doing, because that's why I'm here. And it worked out. I did exactly that, and ended up getting a knockout in the first round, and it was good.
I mean, he was out cold, staring up at the lights. Oh boy. That's a wrap.
First fight in the UFC, we fought Julio Arce, and another very important fight for us because we got beat. You know, we got beat, and I think it was a time for us to reflect on where we needed to get better, where I needed to get better as a coach, where I wanted to see him get better as a fighter, where we needed to improve in our lifestyles, what he was doing work-wise, what I was doing work-wise, but really make a commitment to one another almost as if it was a marriage, you know? And I vowed to be a better coach for him, and I think that's where we met in the middle and started putting motherfuckers away. So we went and fought Mike Santiago in Chicago. I remember warming up in the back for the shakeout that morning, and him just flowing and doing something. And I stopped and I looked at him, I go, bro, that's how you're gonna finish this guy. That's it right there. And sure as shit, that's exactly what happened, man. He went out there and pumped this dude with the right hand, rolled under, hit him with another left hook, put him on his back.
I came out, I lost my debut, it sucked. So I had to come back, work my ass off, and I got the finish. No playing games here.
No playing games indeed.
But it was a certain sequence where I kept trying to build up a base and he kept checking my neck, and I had to fight hands. And he kept just breaking me down and beating me up again. And sure enough, man, that's exactly how I finished the fight. And I think that was the power of just visualization, man, and we bought into that.
You know, that's something I love about Eric. He lets me go out and we're kind of just keep growing together. As long as I can learn and bring it back and have something to show and have something to teach, he's cool with it. So I think that's huge, and you know, we're just getting better, and I can't wait to, you know, we get that world title, wrap that thing around my waist, bring it home to Extreme Couture, and it'll be a good day.
My favorite fight from Dan is probably the Kevin Aguilar fight. I love every one of Dan's fights, first of all. There's something about the Kevin Aguilar fight. I remember when we first knew he was gonna fight Kevin Aguilar, we were kind of just like watching some film together, and we already knew who he was, but his highlights are so scary. He's got like the death touch. He's just like one touch. It doesn't even look like the hardest punch, and they're just like drastically just like boom, flopping everywhere. You know, as scary as this guy was, Dan marched this guy down, stood in the middle, and just banged with him. He beat him pretty soundly, got the unanimous decision, and it was the moment I really realized that Dan was like on the way to stardom. I thought that fight was like the huge moment where you know who this guy is, you know who Dan Ige is.
Fantastic show of respect there by two absolute warriors. Dan, I think I can speak on behalf of everybody when I say that was a sensational fight.
Went to London and he beat the brakes off of Danny Henry. That was a great fight, and that's when you got introduced to 50K Ige.
Beautiful job from Dan Ige, closing the distance. And that is what he does so well. He went to the body first and came up to the top. Oh, Dan Ige's winding up that left hand. Gonna come right over the neck, but he's all under the neck.
Every time you fight, that's
quick. Wow, that was really tight.
Dan Ige does it again. He gets his work done.
That put us right in the pecking order, hopefully to be ranked. And that put us in a fight with the Mirsad Bektic, the guy who I think the UFC and a lot of people felt that he was going to be fighting for the title here soon. But I think the one thing that we had over him is the will to win. And we knew that. And we knew that we seen this guy fade. We seen this guy kind of melt under some pressure, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to come out and hit this motherfucker right in his mouth from the start. And that's what we did.
his timing is excellent. He's seeing everything.
mouth, talking a little shit, pointing at the ground. And, lo and behold, we dropped the round 2. And so hopping on the stool in round 3, I think everything combined and the story that we're telling built up to where we were at right then and there on that stool, man.
He's gonna want to come out and wrestle. If you want to throw knees, okay, they need to be up the midline. You need your own chin. You understand me? I'd rather have you boxing and nothing on the legs, though.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Hey, 5 fucking minutes out of you.
Yep, sir.
5 fucking minutes out of you, Dan. He does not want it more than you.
Yes, sir.
He does not want that shit more than you.
Yes,
do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
What do you do round 3?
Fuck him up.
Let's go.
You know, I wasn't gonna let him not win that fight, and he wasn't gonna let me, let me down. And I just knew. I knew what we saw in Rasad, and I knew what I had in danige. I knew having his dad in the corner. I knew just what we had riding on it and everything that we put in that camp. There was no other way but winning that fight.
It's crazy. Like, I'm the one with the undefeated record. I'm 7-0, but when I look at Dan, I'm still looking up to Dan. I see the way he's chasing his dream, not just then, but now constantly. He's taking this short fight with Edson, the short notice fight with Edson, who's one of the scariest guys. And Dan's like taking this like a champ. He's ready. He's eager for this opportunity, and I feed off that as well. I love seeing Dan in this attitude and this mindset. I feel like everyone in the gym feeds off of it.
Now we're spring loaded in, man. Short notice camp, short notice fight against a guy who's a killer, Edson Barboza, coming down in weight. I've had the pleasure to corner against him once before. It went our way. We fought, Kevin Lee fought him, and we put together a really good camp. But we had 8 weeks, and it's a different guy. It's a different fighter. So there's nobody I'd rather be with than a guy like Dan, man. There's some guys in this gym that really make us all better, and he's one of them. He's the guy that when you get up out of bed, sometimes you're not looking forward to go train. You're looking forward to go train a guy like Ige. He's gonna pull the best out of you, and you're gonna pull the best out of him. I think that's why we've been so successful. I think that's why we're 9-1 together, and I think that's why you're gonna see us fighting for a title here soon. We talk about burning the boats, and we land that boat on that island. We burn that motherfucker so we can take the whole thing down. It's ours. It's our island now. You say it's cliche, like guys willing to die. He's willing to die. When we talk about drowning guys, you can't just hold their head underwater. You got to get in the fucking water and drag them down with you. And it's the guys that are willing to drown on that descent down that are the ones that are going to win those fights. And that's what you saw.